So there's been a running theme on my channel lately that I found out about you guys. You guys love your clones, you like your cheapies, you like to save yourself a lot of money, which I do not blame you, especially if you're buying a lot of fragrances like I do. You like to save yourself some money and get yourself some good fragrances. And so in this video, I compiled a list of 5 fragrances that are for the fall that are fantastic cheapies. Most of these are going to be under probably $30, but I'm just going to say under 50. So without further ado, let's get it. Alright, my great smelling dudes, welcome back to my channel. This is Randy, aka Fragrance Dude, back with another fragrance video and another 5 list where I give you guys 5 fragrances that I feel are going to be great to recommend. This time I'm doing 5 fragrances that are under $50 that are great for the fall. And all of these, some of them are going to be clones, some of the ones are going to be ones I don't talk about. I'm going to leave these to ones that I haven't talked about hardly at all on my channel. I'm not going to talk about the Wanted by Nights or the CK Shocks. As you guys know, I love them. I put them in a few of my videos already. But with that said, before I get into the video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and also if you guys would consider following me on Instagram and TikTok if you do like my content. So we're just going to get straight into it here. Again, I don't blame you guys for wanting to save money. I have a bunch of cheap fragrances and expensive fragrances in my collection. I try to stay away from clones as much as I can because I want to try the real things first. The only time I'll get clones is if you guys ask me for them and I already have the bottle of the real thing so I can try them out next to each other. I have nothing against clones like some people do, but with that said, I only get clones if I already have the real product. So just make sure if you guys want to have me buy one that I already have the real thing first because I want to be able to smell both of them side by side. Going into the first one here, this is by a house that I don't have any other fragrances from them. I just started getting into them. As you guys know, I started my channel 6 months ago and you guys started getting me into the clones. I think I had 1 clone before my channel, but this is by Afnan. It is Afnan 9 PM. This is a clone of Jean-Paul Gaultier's Ultramall, which is very well known for having that pear lavender vanilla mix, one of the best date night fragrances out there, and the largest bottle that I personally have in my collection. Great fall and winter fragrance, and this is going to do it justice as far as the clones are concerned. So the main notes you get at 9 PM are cinnamon, lavender, vanilla, apple, and bergamot. And then also you do get some amber in there as well, but the only thing that it doesn't have in here is the pear. The way that the apple, cinnamon, and lavender mix together, it does come across where you can tell it's not the pear, but it mixes well together so that you can tell it's very close to it. The differences between this and Ultramall, if you've tried Ultramall, is that Ultramall is a bit thicker, a bit heavier, a bit darker at times. This one is just a slightly lighter, slightly fresher take on that DNA with a more of a vanillic tinge to it. And then you also do get some of this apple and bergamot mixture in the opening that tends to lend a little bit more of a freshness, like I said. Overall, this fragrance, it projects well. It projects about an arm and a half length for 3 hours. So just like Ultramall does, maybe a little tiny bit less, while lasting 8 to 9 hours, just like Ultramall does. And it does it fantastic. And I think you can find this for like $20, $25. So Afnan 9 PM is sweet, it's fruity, it's dark. It also has a bit of freshness in there. It's going to be more of your date night, fall and wintertime fragrance, although I would wear it in the spring as well, depending on where you live. So Afnan 9 PM, another great fragrance if you're looking to save some money and you want to get Ultramall or you want to try Ultramall. Afnan 9 PM will definitely get you about 90% close. I don't like using percentages, but in most of these, they're going to be very close. Going into the second one here, it's another clone and one that I find the bottle to be absolutely horrendous. The entire look of the fragrance and the box it came in and everything just looked absolutely terrible. It's a clone of Parfums de Layton, and I kind of find this bottle funny. It is Detour Noir. It looks like a pregnant woman. I actually did it in one of my Jean-Paul Gaultier bottle videos, one of my shorts, where I had it as the pregnant version. But with that said, we're not looking at the bottle, we're looking at the fluid on the inside. And yes, it is in the back of my collection, so nobody can see it. But with that said, Parfums de Marly Layton, one of the best fragrances out there for the fall and winter. And this one, again, does it justice. So, oh my God, it's so good. I just smelled it and I got it in my, it's very, very, very close to Layton. Like, so there's also Lalique White and Black, which does Layton good. This one does Layton better. With that said, do not look at the note breakdown online, even on the Afnan site or on Fragrantica, because Fragrantica copied the Afnan site. They have the note breakdown for Pegasus under Detour Noir, and it's not a clone of Pegasus. There's no heliotrope, there's no almond in this, there's nothing. When I first did my video of this and I was doing a first impression, I was looking at the notes while I was talking to you guys, and I realized that there was something wrong with this, and I even said, there's no apple in here, there's definitely apple in here. But anyway, as far as the notes of Detour Noir, they are vanilla, apple, cardamom, sandalwood, and lavender. So this literally, so you get that cardamom, that fresh spiciness in the opening. You get that lavender to lend a bit of aromatic, like a little bit of a freshness like you get in Layton. You get that apple coming across in here that you get in Layton. It's just not as prominent as it is in Layton. And then you get that like resinous, almost ambery vanilla mixture as you work your way into the base with some wood, some sandalwood in there. Very, very nice. Honestly, if I had to say one of the best clones in my collection, clones, not colognes, even though it is one of the best colognes, the clone here is going to be 90 to 95% close to Layton. If you like Parfums de Marly Layton, or you want to try Parfums de Marly Layton and you can't afford the $200+ range, get this, Detour Noir is going to get you so close. I know that if you walked by me and you were wearing one or the other, I would probably have an issue trying to pick it out unless you stood right next to me. Then I can say, oh yeah, that's one, that's the other. But they are very, very similar. I smelled them next to each other and I was like, holy crap, this is close. It has the apple, the aromatics, the freshness, the woods, the warmth. It has everything. It just, in the opening, like 2 to 3 minutes, it has a little bit of like an alcohol tinge. So just let that wane for a second. Outside of that, it does it pretty perfectly. The quality isn't there fully, as you would expect, because this is $20 but this, you're probably getting like $100 in quality, while in Layton, you're getting your 200+ quality. And it's really nice. It's kind of like the designer version of Layton, is what I would put it as. It's very, very nice. Detour Noir lasts about 8 hours, projects nicely, a little bit over arm's length. Fall and wintertime fragrance, more of a nighttime fragrance, but I would wear it all day long. So that is Detour Noir. Going into the third one here. This is one that I only got recently. I was at a Macy's backstage. I heard people talking about it, and I thought it was just cheap because it was from Guess, and I don't really like many Guess fragrances, but this one, I do. So this is by Guess. It is 1981 Los Angeles. In my last video, I was reading it backwards. Whenever I was talking to you guys, I could see myself, and I said 1861. It's 1981 Los Angeles. So I got this for $8 from Macy's Backstage, and this is a freaking steal. I'm not sure when it came out or anything like that, but 1981 Los Angeles is definitely worth the money. The main notes you get in it are plum, ginger, tobacco, and amber. You also did get bergamot, and then you get pepper and vetiver in this as well. I was trying to think. There's a lot of different fragrances that you could really say this smells like. It smells sometimes like YSL EDP. At some points, it smells like Versace Eros. The EDP is more in the opening, and then the Eros is more when you get to the dry down. But then I sprayed it on again and again. And that plum note, you guys know plum is my favorite fragrance note. It comes across fantastic in this fragrance. It's not your juicy plum. It's more of your warm and sweet plum. And then you mix that together and you get some spice from the ginger as well as black pepper. You get some bergamot in the opening to give it a little bit of freshness. But then the fragrance completely changes after about 20 minutes. As you get into the dry down, it's more of a warm, sweet, sticky tobacco with that vanilla and amber floating through there. It has a little bit of a woods to it as well. but it's like the opening is like this fresh spiciness that has like a little bit of a citrus to it, some spice from the black pepper. You get that plum in there, and then you get to the dry down, and it's like the vetiver comes through, gives it like a smoky tobacco feel mixed with a really nice little bit of fruitiness and some of that warmth and some of that sweetness from the vanilla and the amber. Really, really nice. Guess 1981 Los Angeles. Fantastic fragrance. The only thing is that the performance with it isn't that great. It's about an arm's length for the first hour and a half, and then it's about 6 hours, it's gone. But for the price that you pay for it, I think this was out of the bottle, but out of the box, in the box, sealed, I think it's like $19 or $20, which I still think is definitely worth it. It's a fall staple if you're looking for something under the price of 30 bucks. And now that I think about it, all of these I got for under $30. So I probably should, I'm going to make this video, fragrances under $30. Going into the next one, this one has been very popular. The brand of Lattafa itself has been literally taking the fragrance community by storm as far as clones are concerned. To me, they're beating out Armoth, they're beating out all Haramain, they're beating out pretty much anybody, especially lately. This is Lattafa Asad, and this is a clone of Dior Sauvage Elixir. So when I first got this, I loved the bottle, and a lot of people were telling me about it. I first had a decant that Hamzat sent me, and I was like, wow, that's pretty good. I got Sauvage Elixir in, which I got it from News Parfums for like 80. And still, I still would prefer Sauvage Elixir over this, but they're both so good, so close. The only real differences between them, I'll tell you in a second. I'm going to give you the notes for this first so you can understand what I'm talking about. The main notes in Lattafa Asad are spices, vanilla, clove, amber, and sandalwood. It's a warm, spicy, woody fragrance that is also like a warm, spicy amber fougere, just like you get in Sauvage Elixir. It's deep, it's dark, it's warm, it's spicy. The only main differences that you get is that Dior Sauvage, really, the Elixir, it really has those unique nutmeg and licorice notes. The nutmeg's more in the opening, and then you get that licorice in the dry down. And then it also has more of that warmth, more of that deepness. It's deeper, it's darker. This one has a little bit of a lighter tone to it, as well as it doesn't have those unique spices, but it does have clove in it that replaces for it, which does make it smell very similar to it, just not as refined. It's not as smooth as Dior Sauvage Elixir, but it is fantastic. I'm just nitpicking here. And then the only other main difference is when you get to the dry down, this one's sweeter. It lends to be more of a woody vanilla. So it's sweeter. It's like a sweeter, spicier, sweet spice woods. And the Dior Sauvage Elixir doesn't concentrate as much on the vanilla. And so that's the main difference between the two. This one still lasts beast mode. It's probably 3 arms lengths, if not a room filler for the first 3 hours. And then it's probably like a 3 sprayer, while Sauvage Elixir is a 2 sprayer. So it's really close to that as well. There's really nothing to nitpick about it. It's under $30. Beast mode projection. You're getting about 8 to 10 hours of longevity, if not more. Way more on clothes. And it's just sweet, warm, spicy, has a vanilla dry down. It has a little bit of a freshness in the opening. Outside of that, it's spicy if you like spicy, amber, masculine fragrances. It's going to be more for the fall and winter, although this one, out of all of these, is going to probably be the one that you can wear the most throughout the year, just like Sauvage Elixir. But I would consider it more fall and winter. But yeah, that is Lattafa Asad, a great release by Lattafa this year. Fantastic. I like the way that they did that, and for a clone, it's definitely top-notch quality. Going into the last one, and I love this fragrance. I know a lot of people say that the projection's not the best. Whatever, I love the freaking smell of it. By Banana Republic, it is tobacco and tonka bean. So it is what it is. It's tobacco and tonka bean, but there are some other things in it, and I'll tell you just that. There's also plum in this, like I said, so the main notes you get in tobacco and tonka bean are plum, tobacco, tonka, and vanilla. There's also coconut and pear, but throw those out the window. It's tobacco, it's tonka, it's vanilla, and then it's that plum. So the plum, that's probably why they made this bottle purple, is because of the plum. But with that said, The plum isn't the main note here, it's the tobacco and the vanilla and the tonka, but the plum does lend this nice warmth, this nice fruity warmth that really does mix together well with that tobacco to give it like a moist tobacco fruitiness. Very, very nice. I love this fragrance. Seriously, I wear it like so much. I wear about 2 to 3 fragrances a day after I take my shower, when I go running, throughout the day, stuff like that. And one of these, this is one of the ones that I wear almost every single day. It's just, it smells so bomb. I got it for $22.50 at Burlington Coat Factory. If you can find it there, you should get it, or get 2 bottles, because it is fantastic, and they resell for like $70 on eBay. But when you first spray it on, you get that plum, you get a little bit of tobacco, and you get a little bit of vanilla in there, but it's more of the fruity warmth, like a warm, it doesn't change too much throughout the fragrance. I'm trying to think of the best word to say here. It's like a warm smoothness of fruitiness and tobacco with a little bit of vanilla as you work your way into the dry down. That plum does dissipate a bit, while that tonka bean and vanilla do come up, giving it even more of that creamy sweetness. That's the word, creaminess. And it's a creamy, smooth, sweet, fruity tobacco vanilla fragrance. Tonka beans in there, lending a bit of a powder to it, but really not much. It's more creamy than powdery. So tobacco and tonka bean, fantastic fragrance. It does lean to be just a tiny bit unisex, but I don't really care. It feels more masculine than unisex to me. I love it, but my wife loves it as well. She loves it on me. She loves it on her. I love this fragrance. Even my daughter likes it. I could say any age could use it, and I honestly think that you can do this fall and winter, and then spring and summer nights. Fall and winter pretty much all day long. So the only thing is the performance with tobacco and tonka bean is more about like moderate or a little bit more intimate for the first like hour and a half, and then it's a skin scent after that for the like 4 to 5 hours, and then it's pretty much gone. Overall, I just love the smell of it. It's one of those things that doesn't matter about the performance, like Chanel Edition Blanche. It's just so freaking good. But anyway, yeah, that's 5 fragrances you can get for under $30 depending on where you look. Most of these, except for tobacco and tonka bean, you can pretty much find all the time at that price. Tobacco and tonka bean, you just have to find it for a good price. If not, I think you're looking at like $35. But either way, as long as you go to Burlington Coat Factory, you'll find it there. And that's where they sell the Banana Republics. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you guys like these fragrances, if there's any other ones that you would choose. Again, this isn't my top 5. It's just 5 great inexpensive fragrances for the fall and winter. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back with another video. Peace.